All right, what's up, guys? Today we are talking about the best diet for building muscle. The old saying is 100% true. You cannot outwork a bad diet. So, as much as you're training in the gym, if you are not seeing muscle growth, then this video is for you. Today we're going to break down how to set up your macros as well as different examples of high carb and high protein foods so you can meet those macros so you can be successful in the gym. Because if you want to go from this to this right here, like I did, the number one thing that I had to change was my diet, and that's where I saw the most results over time. Take a moment, guys, and like and subscribe. Like this video, subscribe to this channel if you want to see more bodybuilding content and gym content. I already have a bunch of free videos on how to. Drop a comment below. I answer all of the questions in the comments, or shoot me a DM on one of my other channels, and I'd be happy to help you out as well. So like, subscribe. Let's get into today's topic. Today we're talking about the best diet for building muscle. Now, one of the first things we got to talk about is protein. And I think people overemphasize protein where they think protein's the only thing. And I did that for the longest time as I was really, really focused on just trying to get lots of protein in. When in reality, your protein kind of changes based on your caloric needs, right? So we know we need to be in a calorie surplus. That's tip number one, is going to be in a calorie surplus. And if we're in a calorie surplus, then we can focus more on our carbs, fats, and protein and how we're going to set those up. Why do you have to be in a calorie surplus? I think the best example that I've heard of this is it's kind of like building a house where your foreman and your blueprints, those are your workouts, right? The amount of anabolicness in your body, that's going to be the builders. And then the materials are the food. So you can have the best workouts possible. You can have the best plans possible. But if you are not giving it enough materials, the house, you can't do anything with it, right? So you have to have an excess amount of materials to be able to build a house. Same thing. You have to have an excess amount of food and calories in order to build muscle. You can't just build muscle out of nothing. All right. So our first thing is, of course, we have to be in a calorie surplus. How you set that up is you just start tracking your food. That's number one. And then after you started tracking your food, you just raise that progressively so that you're continuously gaining weight. And you raise it by about 250 at a time. So as far as protein goes, we want to go for about 100. We want to go for about 1.25 grams of protein per pound of body weight for our goal. So if my goal is to hit 200 pounds, but I'm at 180, I'm going 1.25 times 200, and that's going to be about the amount of protein that I want. Then I want to keep my fats between 50 and 100, and everything else just gets filled in with carbs. Here's an example. This is how I would set up my carbs, protein, and fats for a 3,000 calorie diet. You have 375 carbs, so 375 carbs, 230 grams of protein, and 63 grams of fat. That's for 3,000 calories. Here's how I would set it up for 4,000. 550 carbs, 250 protein, 90 fat. So you see, we kept the protein about the same, and then we're just adjusting up the carbs. Lastly, here's where I am right now as I approach the end of this bulking season. We're at 5,000 calories, 750 grams of carbs, 250 grams of protein, and 100 grams of fat. So you see, it's basically just filling in. The fat goes up just a little bit. Protein stays about the same, and we're just filling in more and more carbs because carbs is what's going to build muscle. Yes, you do need protein, but since I switched to a high carb diet, I have built significantly more muscle in my bulking season. And then, guys, it's really easy to adjust when you want to cut or you want to prep. You just dive those carbs back down. All right, some examples of different foods that you can use, especially because if you're in the 4,000 to 5,000 calorie range, guys, it's going to be hard to hit that amount of protein and especially that amount of carbs. So we'll do protein first because it's the easier one. You have things like ground meat. You have things like egg whites. I drink the egg whites. Derek made a video years ago on that. That's when I started drinking them. You can drink egg whites. Add a little bit of Splenda if you like it sweet. Add a little bit of sugar-free chocolate syrup and shake that up and just chug it. Raw egg whites. It's an easy 50 grams of calories or 50 grams of protein. So you got ground meat, egg whites, chicken breast, of course, and things like protein shakes. Guys who tell you that you can't have protein shakes and everything needs to come from whole meat are a little bit overrated. Protein shakes are okay. I tell my clients and myself it shouldn't take up more than a third of your amount of protein. So if you're eating around 250 grams of protein, probably about 75 grams of that comes from protein shakes. Probably 3 scoops of protein a day, and then 175 comes from actual food. But it is totally okay to supplement with protein shakes. Just don't make it your whole diet. Try to eat as much protein as possible and then fill in the gaps with protein shakes. As far as examples of high carb foods, bagels have been a huge one for me in the most recent years. You have things like Thomas Bagels. Thomas Bagels, guys, they are actually like 10 grams of protein and 50 grams of carbs with almost no fat. So bagels are a big, big, big one. You can just throw them in your bag, and I just snack on them all day. I just literally have 2 or 3 bagels in my bag wherever I'm going, and I'm just snacking on them all day. You also have things like rice, which is really basic. I like rice because I can drink it. As gross as that sounds, I will, if I'm so full that I feel like I can't eat anymore, I will shovel my mouth full of rice, and then I will take some water or some juice or whatever I'm drinking and just take it like a pill and just chase it down. So that's why I like rice, is because I can just chase it down with a liquid. And then sweet potato fries. I've gotten that one more from C-Bum recently. C-Bum's been eating a lot of sweet potato fries. So have I. They're really good for you. They're a big change. They actually taste good. If you can fit it into your macros, add just a little bit of cinnamon sugar on top of them. And, dude, those absolutely smack. So bagels, rice, sweet potato fries, that can help your carbs go way up. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to shoot me a DM on Instagram or leave a comment down below. Those are my best tips and the best diet for building muscle. Make sure you subscribe and have a great day.